That's what it is. I look crazy. Welcome to Disruptive Minds. I'm your host, Jerome A. Carter, and A stand for always learning. So, as I said in my reel, I spoke a little bit about being unmotivated or being lazy, and what does that have to do with the brain? Being unmotivated is like you don't want to do something. But even before that, your brain, you're telling yourself, okay, let's talk about a task to make it a lot easier, put it in a nice nutshell. The task is doing dishes. You don't want to do dishes, right? And the brain is like, okay, doing dishes is not nothing that we really need to do. So what the brain does is it labels that as a low priority thing, because the brain wants to save energy. And the way for the brain to save energy is to tell the body, hey, we don't want to do this. So let's just chill. We need to conserve energy, right? So that's what starts the process, is your brain telling your body that we don't want to do this. Because you perceive this task as being something that you don't want to do. You're already like, I don't want to do dishes. I don't want to clean the room. I don't want to make my bed. I don't want to get the journal in the planner, right? I don't want to limit my social media, which is the basic mindset training in a nutshell. So the brain is like, all right, you don't want to do it? Cool, we're not going to do it. So that starts the unmotivation. You're unmotivated, but you know it still needs to be done. So the result of that is being lazy while you're doing it. You're just throwing the dishes and you're just like, whatever, and they're half clean. That's what people say, you half-assing something. Because you're unmotivated to do it. I don't want to do it, so I'm going to do it real lazily and blah, blah, blah. Because it's interesting. At the same time that you feel like, well, I don't want to do it, this, that, and the other. But if it's something you want to do in that same instance, boom, all of a sudden you got energy. And that's how simple it really is. It's just your mind and how your mind is processing the actual thing you have to do. So that's why I always talk about mindset. That's why I talk about the basic mindset training. It's all about your mindset and how you think versus what the actual thing is. Let me give you another scenario. Whenever it's getting cold out, it's getting rainy out, it's getting cloudy out, it's fall. So here comes all the bad weather. For me, I love it. Because I've trained myself to enjoy the cold weather, the rainy weather. The weather that people don't like the most is the weather I like the best. So my brain is like, oh, this is torture, let's go. Right? Or nobody wants to do this, let's go. Nobody wants to climb that, let's go. That's how I've trained myself to think. And it took a while to train yourself to think. It's going to take a while. When you start these processes of basic mindset training or any type of training that you're not used to, it's going to take a while before your subconscious accepts this stuff. It's going to take a while. What I mean by a while? A routine, 66 plus days. If you look up the word routine, how long it takes to be in a routine before a routine becomes a habit. See, a routine is something you're consciously doing. A habit is something that's unconscious. It's subconscious. Routine is something you're consciously doing. Like, I'm consciously making these videos. I'm consciously working out. I'm consciously driving. You're consciously doing these things. Eventually, it's going to become a habit. And once it's a habit, it's locked into the subconscious. And it changes, it varies for different people. The average is 66 days, which is roughly 2 months, a little bit over 2 months. It's a process. And you have to do this every day. Because if you skip a day, you got to start all back over again. So when I'm talking about being motivated and lazy, if it's something you really want to accomplish, you have to continue to do it and make your brain think that I'm enjoying this, I like this, and at a certain point it's going to convert and you're going to enjoy and like that thing. It's just that simple. Who you are right now, you became this person, however, it was through a process. Right? 20 years ago, you were not the same person you are today. It became a process, like a frog in the pot. I love using a frog in the pot. It's used for mental health. Frog in the pot is used all the time. Governments use it all the time. They slowly get you into something. And for people who don't know what frog in the pot is, it's when, if you put a frog in a hot pot, it's going to jump out. So what do is you get the cold pot, cold water, you put the frog in a cold pot with the cold water, you turn the eye on real low, and you just wait. And what happens is the frog gets acclimated to the temperature of the water, and eventually it'll die. That's how most things are done, especially politically. It's not done overnight. They don't do things overnight. It's a slow process. Even when you talk about gentrification and tearing down the hoods and doing this and doing that and building this and building that, it's a slow process. To you, it seems like, oh my God, they're building this. It takes a long time to even start to see the foundation being built. Once you get the plumbing in, the permits and the people and the construction, it's a process. And it doesn't happen overnight. That's why when I tell you basic mindset trainings, in the link, you click, you start working on yourself. And now is that type of year, because it's getting colder. It's going to get darker soon because they're going to change the hours back or whatever. And you're going to feel some type of way. And you're not going to know why you're feeling that type of way. It's because it's a seasonal thing. It happens every year. This year is going to be different because the basic mindset training. You're going to be working on yourself during that time where you don't know what's going on, but you're going to be focused on, I need to do these things to get this accomplished to make myself better now. Initially, you're going to be unmotivated. Initially, you're going to be lazy about it. Eventually, it's going to be something totally different, and you're going to be doing it like clockwork. That's where I want you to be. So, when it comes to motivation, when it comes to being lazy, even when you're dealing with other people, because now that you know this, you understand this, that this person thinks that whatever you ask them to do, and they're like, you're being lazy. Yeah, no, it's actually their brain telling them that it's not worth doing. I don't want to do this. It's not worth it. Now, being able to explain that to them the way I explained it to you, good luck with that. But just know that's the process that's going on, because somebody's going to do it to you. Somebody's going to tell you, hey, I need your help for X, Y, Z. And you're going to be like, yeah, I see now. Now it makes sense, because my brain's telling you, that's not going to benefit me. Why are we using this energy for this? We could be doing something else, right? You start to see, you connecting those dots, you connecting them. I hope you are.